Hey guys, for our lesson today, we are going to be looking at text structures found in text as we're reading. And so our objective for today is I can understand text structures and use it to help understand the author's purpose. So after you watch the video, you will answer a couple questions about the text structure of our text. Then you will watch a brain pop video on sequencing. And finally, you will do a sequencing activity on Canvas where you will be dragging events and putting them in order. So we are going to be reading an informational text today, the U.S. Constitution. And informational text gives facts and examples about a topic. Informational text often includes headings, subheadings to signal what comes next. And they have central ideas supported by key details and facts. A lot of times we will find social studies words specific to the topic, and there will be visuals and text features found in the text. So we're going to be looking at understanding text structure, and it can help us when we are reading. Text structure is the way the information is organized in a text. Authors organize information in different ways depending on their purpose and the ideas they are presenting. Recognizing text structures helps readers connect ideas and events, and transition words can provide clues to the structure an author is using in the text. So our anchor chart that we had tells you that text structures, authors choose text structures that best fit the purpose for writing a text. So some of the different structures that you might see are compare and contrast, cause and effect, sequence, and problem and solution. And so as we're looking at this, we can see that compare and contrast, the author's purpose is to help the author describe how things are alike and different. So if the author is trying to explain how things are alike and different, they would use compare and contrast. You might see keywords like but, both, however, and. Another text structure that we often see is cause and effect. The cause and effect structure helps authors explain what happened and why it happened. So we're looking at keywords like because, so, in order to, as a result. So a cause and effect situation would be, it was raining outside, so we had indoor recess. Something happened, and then there was an effect to it. The next one that we have is sequence, and sequence is helps the author explain events in order. So some keywords that we have with sequence are before, after, next, then, last, after, first, finally. Anything that tells you the order of events. The final one is problem solution. So problem solution text structure helps authors explain how a problem is solved. A lot of narratives will have a problem solution text structure because we know in stories that characters often have problems and then they go through a bunch of events and solve it. So some transition words you might see are problem, solution, difficulty, the answer is. So today, you know you will be successful when you can identify transition words in a text, and then you can use the transition words to figure out the text structures. So this chart is going to be very helpful because you can look at these transition words and look for the ones that you see in the text. So I would like for you to turn to page 233 in your My Book. This is the first page of the text, the U.S. Constitution. And I'm just going to read over it, and then we'll answer some questions. So, what is the U.S. Constitution? The Constitution of the United States is the plan for how the government works. It says how much power the branches or parts of the government can have. It tells them how to make laws and how to make sure all Americans follow them. The Constitution is a symbol of democracy. The first rules of the United States. After winning the Revolutionary War in 1783, the United States was a new country. Like any country, it needed rules. Its first set of rules was called the Articles of Confederation. These rules joined together the 13 states. It was a start, but the country needed more. The United States needed a better form of government. So after reading this, I'm trying to figure out how the author organized this information. And I'm asking myself, did they organize it by cause and effect? Something happened, and then because of that, something else happened? Was there a problem and a solution? Or was it sequence? So one of the things that I noticed is that I saw a couple transition words. And one of the transition words that I notice is up here, after winning the Revolutionary War. So right here, it's talking about after. I also know that they're talking about the first rules of the United States. And the other thing that helps me out is knowing the date. Authors will often include dates, the years, to help organized in an order. The author explains what the Constitution was in the top. Then the author tells about the Articles of Confederation were the first rules of the United States but were not strong enough. I can see keywords like after, first, and the date 1783. This information tells me that it is organized by sequence. So if I go back to my chart, my sequence is first, next, last, after. So some of those keywords were on that page for me to know that this text is organized by sequence. Why did the author use the text structure of sequence in this section? So trying to figure out why would the author want to put these events in sequence. And so I started thinking about it, and the text is giving me information about the Constitution, then talking about the first rules of the United States. It is telling me what happened first. I'm guessing that as I keep reading, they're going to tell me what happened next, because it says at the bottom, it was the start of, but the country needed more. And the United States needed a better form of government. So I'm guessing that they will tell me what happened in the next step. All right, looking at page 236 in your My Book. This section is called the Parts of the Constitution. The Constitution has 3 parts: the preamble, the articles, and the amendments. The preamble. The preamble is the beginning of the Constitution. The preamble tells Americans why they need a government and a constitution. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. So as I was thinking about this, and how do I know if it's cause and effect, problem solution, or sequence, I saw a couple keywords in here, and the biggest one is that the preamble is the beginning of the text. So this is what's first. This starts with the parts of the Constitution and begins with the preamble, which is the first part. The text says the preamble is the beginning of the Constitution. It would make sense for the author to describe the Constitution starting from the beginning. So the keyword beginning tells me that the author organized this section by sequence. All right, still on the same page, why did the author use this text structure of sequence? Well, the author is explaining the parts of the Constitution. It is a large text that people would read, and it would make sense to begin at the beginning of the text and work your way through it in order. Just like we wouldn't pick up a book and start reading in the middle, you're not going to pick up the Constitution and start reading in the middle. You're going to want to start in the beginning. All right, so for your assignment, the first one you're going to do is you're going to read the amendments, and you're going to look for how the author organized the information. Is it by cause and effect, problem and solution, or sequence? You're also going to look for the keywords the author used. There are a couple keywords in here. After you do that, you will watch a brain pop video on sequencing, and then there is a short activity on Canvas where you will read the brain pop comic and sequence the events in the comic.